Hey guys, so this is section 7.3 rotations, day 2. So we're going to continue talking about rotations, but we're going to define them using a little bit of algebra to figure out what each rotation entails, what it does to each point, okay? So we're going to focus on the 3 basic rotations, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees. And we're doing counterclockwise, but remember, if I say clockwise, you can always figure it out by going in the opposite direction, right? So if I say 270 degrees counterclockwise, you could do the same thing 90 degrees clockwise because they are exactly the same rotation. So let's just focus on defining what the rules are going to be for each one. Okay, so a rotation is a turn around the fixed point. We know that. Let's look at a 90-degree rotation counterclockwise. Write down this rule right here where it says 90 degrees counterclockwise. You're going to write xy maps onto negative y x. Let me tell you before we move on to the next one what that means. What is it that you're going to do to every single point according to this rule? Okay, so if they ask you to do a 90-degree rotation counterclockwise and you know the coordinates of the point, what you're going to do first, the first thing you do is take your 2 points and change the sign of the y value. Okay, let me repeat that again. Change the sign of the y value. 90 degrees counterclockwise is what we're talking about. Please don't confuse it with this one over here. So 90 degrees counterclockwise, change the sign of the y value. So if it's positive, make it negative. If it's negative, make it positive, but change it. Not the x value, the y value. Once you did that, now go ahead and flip the 2 numbers with each other. So that's exactly what happened here. The y became negative, and then we flipped them with each other, right? We brought it to the front and took x and put it in the space where the y used to be. That is the basic algebraic way of doing the 90-degree rotation counterclockwise, and that's what we're going to be using for example A over here for all of these. A 180-degree rotation, we did that one together in class. That one is actually one of the easiest ones. It's very, very simple. Here's what you write for that one. You're going to write xy, right? We always start with xy, maps onto negative x. Let me fix that because it looks nasty. Negative x, negative y. And again, let me explain what that means. That means that for any point xy, doesn't matter what the point is, if you want to do a 180-degree rotation, and notice that it doesn't say clockwise or counterclockwise, because it doesn't matter. A 180-degree rotation in this direction is the same as a 180-degree rotation in this direction. But the basic change in the numbers is very easy. Whatever the numbers happen to be, keep them, but change the signs. Both of them. If they're positive, turn them negative. If they're negative, turn them positive. But you're changing the signs of them. That is actually one of the easiest ones to do. Okay, and the last one is a 270-degree rotation counterclockwise. And it's very similar to this, the 90-degree rotation counterclockwise. But in this case, we're going 270 degrees. So 90, 180, 270. We're doing a lot more than 90. But it's actually still very similar to this one. Here's what you're going to write for that one. Make it fit somewhere. I'm going to write up here. I think it fits perfectly up here. XY maps onto y negative x. XY maps onto y negative x. So again, let me explain what that means. This means that you're going to take your point, any point xy, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the x and change the sign, right? The x value changes signs. Notice that it's negative over here. So if it's negative, make it positive. If it's positive, make it negative. And then once you did that, change them with each other, right? Flip them with each other. The y comes to the front, the negative x now goes to the back. Okay? Those are the basic 3 transformations that we're going to be using, and the 3 that you should be familiar with, very familiar with. Okay, so let's scroll down and do a couple of examples. So example A, rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. 90 degrees counterclockwise. So I'm going to go ahead and do this algebraically, okay? I'm not going to plot the points and then rotate them. I'm going to actually just use the rules that I just came up with, okay? So 90 degrees counterclockwise, I'm going to go back and look at my formula again because I don't remember it. That's what you should do. If you don't remember something, go back and look at your notes. So it says here that what I'm supposed to do is change the sign of the y, right? That's what this means. Change the sign of the y and then flip them with each other. Notice that they swapped places. So that's what I'm going to do for each one of the numbers down here. I'm going to change the sign of the y. Do both steps at the same time. You don't have to do one step at a time. Change the sign of the y. That means that it's -6, -2. And then flip them. So now it's going to be -2 first and then -6 at the end. That's the first one. -2, -6. Let's do it again. -6, -4. Change the sign of the y. So now it's -4. Bring it to the front. -4, -6. Let's do it again. -4, -5. Change the sign of the y. So it's now -5. Bring it to the front. So it's -5, -4. Notice that I'm only changing the sign of the y value and then bringing it to the front so that the other one goes in the back. Let's do it again. -3, 3. Change the sign of the y. That means -3. Bring it to the front. -3, -3. Last one. -4, 2. Change the sign of the y. That means -2. Bring it to the front. Send the other one to the back. So it's -2, -4. And what we need to do now is plot them all so we could draw our shape. So I'm going to start by plotting the pre-image and then I will also plot the image. -6, 2 is right here. -6, 4 is right here. -4, 5 is right there. -3, 3 is right here. -4, 2 is right there. There's the pre-image. I'm going to connect them together. Just like this, like that, this way, and this way. And then I'm going to do the image. -2, -6. -2, -6 right here. -4, -6 right there. -5, -4. Right there. -3, -3 right there. -2, -4. You connect them. And there's your image. That is a 90-degree rotation counterclockwise. Let me quickly recap what I just did. I used the rule here, right? I didn't do it manually. I used the rule. First thing you do for a 90-degree counterclockwise, you got to make sure that you use this rule for the appropriate spot, right? 90-degree counterclockwise, change the sign of the y, and then flip them. So -2, -6, -4, -6, -5, -4, -3, -3, -2, -4. All right, let's move on to the next one. B, rotate 180 degrees counterclockwise. That one is, like I keep saying, that one is the easiest one. It's so easy to do the transformation for those points. 180 degrees. It doesn't matter if it's counterclockwise or clockwise. You're going to end up at the same spot. Okay? But go back and look at your notes and look what the rule says. For 180 degrees, all you have to do is change the signs. That's it. Just change the signs and you have done the rotation. So -6, 2 will become 6, -2. And notice that I don't have to flip them. They stay in the same spot. -6, 4 becomes 6, -4. -4, 5 becomes 4, -5. Negative 3, 3 becomes 3, negative 3. Changing the signs of them. I didn't flip them there. It looks like I did, but I actually did change the sign of this one to positive 3, change the sign of this one to negative 3. Last one, negative 4 becomes 4, 2 becomes negative 2. Done. So if I want to graph that, negative 6, 2, right there. Negative 6, 4, right there. Negative 4, 5. I'm doing the pre-image, okay? Negative 3, 3. And negative 4, 2. And then I do the image, 6, negative 2. Right here. 6, negative 4. Right there. 4, negative 5. Right here. 3, negative 3. 4, negative 2. Connect them. And there's your figure. That's a 180 degree rotation. Clockwise, counterclockwise, does not matter. Alright, so for this problem on the back of the worksheet, I'm going to let you guys work on the entire problem on your own. So go ahead and try to answer this question. Okay, there are protractors there that you can use. So just follow the instructions. Connect O, the origin, to point D, and then also to point D prime, and then measure that angle to see what the angle of rotation is. Okay, and also figure out did it go clockwise or counterclockwise. Once you got that, once you got whatever degree is in counterclockwise, you should be able to answer these questions, right? Find the coordinates of the points, and then answer these final question about what would happen to A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime if you do counterclockwise 90 degrees. So go for it. Go ahead and try to answer all of these questions. Take a couple of minutes. 1 minute here, 2 minutes here, another one here, another one here. Probably like 5 minutes total. You should be able to answer all the questions. Maybe 6. Okay, so go ahead and pause it right now. Try to work it out through the entire thing and then come back once you're ready to see. Okay, so here's the answers that I came up with. For number 1, it says draw the line from the origin to point D and then measure the angle. I got 90 degrees counterclockwise. I did write counterclockwise because this is the pre-image and this is the image. So you have to do exactly 90 degrees that way. Okay. You might have got 89, maybe 91, but it has to be close to 90 degrees when you measured it. Number 2, find the coordinates of the points A, B, C, D and corresponding points on this image. So if it's a 90 degree counterclockwise, I went ahead and just did the calculation using the method that we learned, right? Change the sign of the Y and then swap them with each other. Change the sign of the Y, swap, negative 1, 7. Change the sign of the Y, swap, negative 7, 4. Change the sign of the Y and swap, negative 7, 2. And then this last one is just asking you to write the general rule. XY becomes negative YX. You could have got this from your notes. Question 3, if you rotated figure A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, you're rotating this one, right? Not the original one, but the image. If you're rotating it counterclockwise 90 degrees, so I'm going another 90 on top of the 90 that was already done. What is the sign of the X coordinates of the new image? So after I take this and I rotate it, it's going to land over here, right? What are the X coordinates? They're all negative. How do I know that? Because look, they're all negative here. It's on the left side of the y-axis. They're all negative. What about the y coordinates? Also negative, right? They're below the y-axis. That's negative. Remember, quadrant 3 is the negative, negative quadrant. In what quadrant is the new image? Third quadrant. There it is. Finally, draw and label the triangle, the quadrilateral A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, D double prime, after being rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. So we took this one, rotated it 90 degrees counterclockwise, and I landed right here on this one. Okay, so at this point, you're on your own. Go ahead and start working on your homework on your own, and I'll see you guys in class.